Affirming non-binary structures also entails living without conceits of foundations, origins, and progress, and especially without clear distinction between the real and the fictive, the ideal and the material, the past and the present. You see, gray was the new black, and then black was the new black, then brown was the new black, and then if I remember the sequence correctly, navy entered the picture. But well before that, Dyke was the new feminist. Again, Dyke was the new feminist, making life, such as visibly my bias, fascinating. Meanwhile, gay ditched lesbian, so queer had prefers over the new gay, and the new old is the new queer. Politics is about nomination. It is about naming the political subjectivity and organizing politically around that name. The political task, then, is one of inventing a name around which a political subject can aggregate for the various social struggles through which we are living. This act of aggregation of the political subject is a moment of counter-hegemony. This act is precisely what I desire. What is exhibited in this fantasy is the possibility of performing and articulating the movement among static choices of identity. It's the movement. It's all about the action of not quite specifically all the time one or the other that I hope to articulate. Making boundaries is politics. Crossing them is drama. We need to focus on ambivalence rather than truth. Rather than fight for a right or true politics, we might purposefully embrace their impossibility with an understanding that we cannot determine the meaning of our own acts. It is giving up the intentionality and the scientific method of giving in to a politics motivated not by truth or morality, but perhaps by love, desire, relentlessness, humor, hope, inventiveness, and impulse. We need art that can analyze the works of capitalism and patriarchy in all their manifestations: ideological, institutional, organizational, subjective. We need art that will let us think in terms of diversities rather than unities. We need art that will break the old concepts of traditions of Western art that have systematically construed the world hierarchically in terms of masculine universals and feminine specificities. We need art that will enable us to articulate alternative ways of thinking about and acting upon gender without either simply reversing the old hierarchies or confirming them. We need art that will be useful and relevant for political practice, because neither empowerment nor social justice is possible without some sense of what needs to be changed. We need also to place greater emphasis on the connections among art, knowledge, and power relations. Aesthetics beyond disciplines. Aesthetics as a fact of life. We need art. Now that goes without saying. We will reconnect discussions of aesthetics to a base. We will step outside and hijack buses, abolish prisons, open our flats, lend our grandmother's scarf to a homeless person, use a trailer as a mobile library, turn the football field into a ballroom for queens. And in our uncle's shoes, we will toast to the future. We will do social research and exploration within a context shaped by the hard material facts, fluctuating passions, and affective inabilities that characterize our daily lives. We will take power by using all available means. A mattress becomes a residency. The bedroom a cinema. The living room a meeting space. The police station a daycare. The bus a classroom. The prison an artist residence. The square a dance floor. The workroom an archive. The institution a daytime pizza parlor, nighttime art class. The military a coffee break. Our lives a musical. And our homes a university. Because pedagogy is providing alternatives to the way things are supposed to be. Pedagogy is all about bodies. Pedagogy is about sociality. It's about sociality. Pedagogy is about the grime of history, and it happens in a panopticon. Pedagogy is praxis. Empowerment is gaining the critical consciousness to unpack hegemonic ideologies. So I've been thinking and talking with others about what it means to make public declarations about social relations, about politics, declarations through words or another language, through actions, images, clothes, ways of behaving, and reflecting on behavior. By opening our private spaces, we turn them into public institutions, a collective phantom hovering. Reclaiming public spaces makes them public. Reclaiming public spaces makes them public. Let us make one thing clear. Art does not necessarily have to reflect the hegemonic structures of society. Art can be organized and based in and around the everyday knowledge and material struggles that structures people's lives. Art can in fact counter hegemonic structures. It can counter these structures. We are the world's darkest past. We are giving shape to a new future. We will open a new front. So who allows themselves? Who allows themselves? Who allows themselves? Affords themselves the possibility of risk? You? Maybe? What about over here? You? You're a chicken? It's all right. It's a safe space for all of us. Who puts themselves at stake? Do you put yourself at stake? Yes? Maybe? Who overcomes fear? Acts on thinking without thinking. Sees thinking as acting. Who speaks loudly in the microphone at the conference? Takes her shirt off at the nightclub. Removes her panties on stage. Who goes to another place? Stays in one place. Who asks you to look after their child for 20 minutes? Who goes out to film when it's minus 15 degrees centigrade? Who survived the stomach virus? Who fought for contraceptive rights, homosexuals, and anarchists in the late 19th century? Who cooks for many people without planning? Who fasts for 6 days? Who refuses to get out of bed, spend money, work, communicate? Refuses to identify with one group or ideology? Who gets fisted in the toilet at the nightclub? Bases their look on Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings? Who is ready and willing to share the problematic reading of an image? Who gets to read it? Who gets to look away? Who gets to stay? Who gets to pay? Who gets to leave and demand to be paid? Who is here, present and ready? Who is here, present and ready? Yes, we are. And we will change the tide. Let's go. Thank you.